All right, folks, it is fight night once again. This is the MMA Mark, also known as Jacob Cheney, and we are here with another one. I just wanted to go ahead and give my picks, my predictions, and maybe tell you guys about some odds to actually play when you're actually making your bets here. And obviously, I'm not the most special when it comes to bet odds and stuff like that, but there is a lot of sneaky plays that you might want to look forward to for UFC Mexico. Brandon Moreno versus Steve Erceg, two of the best flyweights in the world. The former champ Brandon Moreno looking to continue his winning streak after his dominant performance and showing against Amir Albazi, and Steve Erceg with his second main event and first ever fight night main event. He is looking to get back into winning ways as he has another huge opportunity that was granted to him by short notice. And this is a very stacked card, guys, full of great names: Drew Dober, Joe Pyfer, Kelvin Gastelum, the former title challenger, Raul Rosas Jr., Ronaldo Rodriguez, and just a lot of close fights, extremely bangers. Seriously. So it's going to be awesome. And everybody has made weight, all except for Ronaldo Rodriguez. So let's just go ahead and talk about it real quick, man. So our first fight that is starting us off, it is going to be Marquel Medeiros versus Austin Hubbard. And honestly, this is a very good fight. I like this. I remember Medeiros from a Contender Series, I believe. And Austin Hubbard, of course, I remember the controversy that he had with that one guy where he just quit off the stool. He was this undefeated fighter. I can't remember the name of the undefeated fighter right now, but Bud Hubbard has always been in there. He recently competed on one of the last seasons of The Ultimate Fighter, got back into the UFC, um, and I believe he was a finalist on there. So overall, really good fight. Marquel is actually the favorite right now, and you can even check the draft odds stats right here, DraftKings Sportsbook. And I like this fight. I like this fight a lot. Marquel is a finisher, so I mean, Marquel by finish, even just by knockout, TKO, I mean, that's a 450 right there. But you also have to take a look at the experience of Fudd Hubbard and what he has been able to do so far. It's going to be interesting. It's an interesting fight, and obviously, Hubbard is backed up into a corner a little bit. I mean, it's been up and down for him. He's lost 3 of his last 5, and I feel like one more win or one more loss really, and he might actually be in some trouble here, but it's going to be interesting to say. I think I got Marquel. I got Marquel by a finish, and I would not be surprised if Austin Hubbard actually got this done. So it's just a good fight overall to start the card, and I would not be surprised if Hubbard actually got a decision, which that is, his best way of winning. DraftKings believe, and I'm not surprised by that at all. But I got Marquel, Medeiros by finish. This fight right here, obviously now we got the stats actually going here and to tell the tape. But Jamall Emmers versus Gabriel Miranda, it's a good fight. I really do believe. And, Jamall is the heavy favorite in this fight, no doubt about it. I'm not surprised by it, but, almost every single grappler that Emmers has fought, he has lost to. So people might need to actually look at that for a bit. But if I remember Gabriel Miranda last time I saw him, yeah, it was against Morgan Charrier. Um, and I believe, yep, he fought Benoit Saint Denis as well. I feel like Miranda's best chance of winning this fight is by submission. He's got the height advantage. I feel like he is very good on the ground, and Emmers has made some very interesting mistakes on the ground. I believe in one of his previous losses where he put himself into a knee bar, I believe. Not sure why he did that. Yeah, that was against Pat Sabatini. Now I remember. But Jamall Emmers is still very good, still very much a killer be killed fighter, and it it is a safe play, but I do have Jamall by finish. Um, and I believe he actually gets this done in round one. I don't believe Miranda has really showed that defense yet overall. Um, he's still very good, obviously, being in the highest level like that, but when it just comes to the stand up, it's like he's a deer in headlights. And I mean, just overall, when you're standing with Jamall Emmers, not a lot of people can actually compete with that. Nate Landwehr was able to do it in Jamall's last fight, and I believe Giga Chikaze was able to do that too. But I mean, overall, I think I am going with the safe play, and I'm going with the heavy favorite, Jamall Emmers. And I say he gets this done with a round one TKO. Rafa Garcia versus Vinc from Hell. Vince from Hell. Um, Interesting fight for both guys. It says Rafa is coming off of a loss, so the stuff that I saw on Verdict MMA was kind of wrong, but now that I really remember, yeah, he did fight Grant Dawson. And I mean, losing to Grant Dawson is not bad at all. Garcia was on a little streak here after his loss to Drekar, and he has looked very good. Um, and Pichel, I feel like if he was just more active, he could probably be a problem. If he was just more active, but he's really not. But he's got a distinct reach advantage, leg reach advantage, height advantage. I believe he even has the experience in this fight. He's been in UFC forever, but he just has not been as active. I think both guys are very good grapplers, and I don't believe Rafa should be. I don't think he should be the heavy favorite. I feel like this fight is a little bit more closer. I believe 210 minus 210 would have been better, but I do have Garcia winning this fight, and I do believe he actually gets some sort of finish. The safest play, obviously, is to go by decision. Garcia has not gotten a finish in a while. I think his last finish was a rear naked choke, but I do not believe I remember what year that was, and it was in the UFC. But you know, it's just going to be interesting to see. Pichel, he's very durable. I say he's very durable, and you could say the same thing with Garcia. Both guys are very tough. Really, just determines on the game plan. But overall, I do have Garcia winning this, and I'm actually going to be I'm actually gonna say it is going to be a finish. We have seen Vince um, get finished before, and I mean it's not a bad play. Plus 550 for a Rafa Garcia finish, but you know you gotta pick your poison because Garcia decision is probably the way to go. Interesting fight right here. Loopy Godinez and Julia Polastri. I'm definitely butchering that name right there. But Julia and Loopy, I believe this is the only women's fight on the card. Yeah, it's the only women's fight on the card. And a lot of people are going to say Loopy Godinez. I think Loopy is actually the favorite on DraftKings. I think she's a favorite pretty much everywhere. So, Julia is pretty much backed into a corner here, but I do think Julia has some good takedowns. And I mean, she obviously wants to take it down. Loopy, she has developing striking, and her striking is good. Um, but overall, I think Julia obviously wants this on the ground, and Godinez will always put it on the ground, in my opinion. But then again, it's women's MMA, and it's hard to predict women's MMA. And we've seen it numerous times before. We just saw it a few weeks ago. It's it's interesting. Everything is interesting. I keep saying it. But I'm actually going to go with the underdog in this fight. I'm going to go with Julia. Uh, I'm going to go with how my boy Manny Betts is seeing it, and I'm going to see Julia with a submission, which I mean, her submissions are the best thing about her, and they are a plus 1400. It's going to be very unlikely she submits someone like Loopy Godinez, but I feel like that's a very interesting play to really go by. Um, I mean, hell, she might actually be very active with the submissions in this fight. I feel like she could be. I feel like she would be, especially if it hits the ground. But it's a big risk. If I had to actually if I had to actually think about it for a second, I think Loopy Godinez probably outstrikes Julia, and I feel like Loopy will also mitts into takedowns and get her down. But that's what I'm trying to say. I feel like Julia wants to be on the bottom. Um, it's going to be interesting to see. She's good with her own takedowns. You could see 80% takedown accuracy, and her defense holds up as well too. Loopy is much more active with the takedowns, in my opinion. Uh, and it's just going to be fun. I feel like this is an underrated fight, and I'm actually going to go with the underdog, who is a plus 1400 to win by submission, and that's Julia. One of my favorite fights on this entire card might actually be my favorite. C-Rod, Christian Rodriguez taking on, of course, Melquizael Costa. Melky Costa, man. Um, awesome fight. Melky Costa is really leveled up now, getting this streak going. He just came off of a great performance against Andre Feely, who for some reason put himself in that choke. And I don't know why, but Feely is the veteran, not me, and I'm sure he's very comfortable on the ground too. But at the same time, why go down with the guy who really specializes in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Milky, he's very good. He's super good on the ground, man. And I feel like for Christian Rodriguez, this is just the time for him. And from his last fight, or one of his previous fights, I believe against Julian Rosa, this is going to be a test for him to see if he has actually learned. Last time he actually pulled himself into a guillotine. Milky Costa actually, his last fight, he got a guillotine against Andre Feely. I feel like that's one of his best submissions, if I remember from any of his previous fights out on the regionals. But Milky is very good everywhere. He showed some great striking. And on the feet, this is a very close fight. I really do believe the kicks of Costa will give Christian Rodriguez a good bit of trouble. But at the same time, if C Rod actually closes that distance and starts landing those beautiful body shots, it's going to give Milky trouble. But, Milky's not just going to stand there. You try to close in the distance, he will probably try to get on your back. He might try to take you down. He might try to get the Muay Thai plum. Milky is very unpredictable. And I feel like this fight is just beautiful matchmaking from Sean Shelby and Mick Maynard, Dana White, and I like it. Christian is the slight favorite, I believe, in this fight. I'm not surprised. Milky in the past has been cracked many times, and he has been finished. Tiago Moises comes to mind. Mean Machine Steve Garcia comes to mind. And I feel like Christian Rodriguez can do the same exact thing. The winner of this fight, I do believe they get a top 15 name, and that's going to be fun. I would love to see it. Um, it's tough. It really is tough. But I actually have Christian Rodriguez on Verdict MMA. I have him by finish in round two. I feel like the body shots will take a toll. I feel like the Chris Botson of Rodriguez overall will really show, and he will get going really in the second round and eventually finish Milky Costa. But I would not be surprised if Costa actually shuts me up again. I, you just cannot be surprised, man. He's super good, and I just cannot wait for this fight. This is an awesome fight. This fight right here, I don't know too much about. Now it says 1-0, but he's actually sits in one, and that's Ateba. I'm pretty sure that's how you say his name. He is from Cameroon. He's a great finisher. I believe like a 90% finish rate. He's super good. Jose Daniel Medina is looking to get his first win in the UFC, and it's going to be interesting. But I am going to go with the heavy favorite once again, Ateba. If that's if that is how you say his name. Um, he sits in four. He's got a great reach and height advantage over Medina, and this is only middleweight. He's got an 81-inch reach, which is very good. So he's obviously genetically gifted. He makes his debut tonight. Medina, he's just on. He's going to be very desperate. Trying to get this win. He's being counted out. He was very pumped in the weigh-ins. Which I mean, his opponent did not look like he was very much interested in all with the games that Medina was trying to play. I don't think this has a finish. I actually think this goes to distance, and I don't know the odds exactly for that. But if this guy is the heavy favorite, and obviously by finish, you got to think it's probably going to be good if it goes to distance. Like unanimous decision here. I know this is not exactly what it is, but I mean, check this out. I mean, plus 900 for Jose to win by unanimous decision, plus 400 for Ateba to win by unanimous decision. And the only time we've seen Ateba actually go to decision was in his first two fights. He lost one by split. He won his debut, his actual fighting debut, by unanimous decision. So he's not been in a decision for a while, but I feel like Medina is good at surviving. I feel like he's very durable and he's tough. Um, I got Ateba by unanimous decision, and that might be something to think about. Actually, let me check real quick. Yeah, because I know they show it here just on method of victory. Yep. So let me see. Ateba, the win by decision, is still very good. It's not the favorite, obviously, but it's still really good. A plus 275 for a heavy favorite. That's very good. All right. This fight right here, and I'm surprised it is as one sided as it is. Minus 250 favorite is Edgar Chairez, and a lot of people are liking this guy ever since his awesome fight with Joshua Van. Um, and of course, CJ Vergara, I believe he's trying to get back into winning ways. He's not on the best streak right now. Yeah, but he's been fighting Murderers Row, Azu Amabayev, Temerov, who just defeated Charles Johnson. He fought Vinicius Salvador, Lacera, Tatsuro Taira. I mean, seriously, it's just the guy has fought very notable names at flyweight, and flyweight's probably the best division out there right now, with very notable names and how active they fight. But anyway, I picked CJ Vergara by decision. I picked him by decision for good reason. It's his best way to win, and it's still a plus 400 for him to win by decision. And Chairez, I think a lot of people are overestimating Chairez in this fight just because of the Joshua Van performance. A lot of people have to remember that Joshua Van took that almost immediately after, like 2 weeks after he got knocked out by Charles Johnson. And obviously, the time frame of those fights were very close. And that probably took a toll on Joshua Van, but he still got it done. He still hurt him on numerous occasions, and he got the performance that he was looking for and the bonuses that he was looking for. Um, Chairez only has one win in the UFC out of four fights. Um, I believe he is. Let me see. Yeah, he's 1-2 and 1, and that other one is just a no contest. Um, I think Chairez's best way of winning this fight is probably by submission. He's got very good submissions, obviously, Edgar Chairez. Um, but I'm kind of confident. I'm kind of confident in the CJ Vergara pick, and I cannot wait to see what goes down. Co-main event already, man. Manuel Torres versus Drew Dober. Awesome fight. Very close fight. As you can see by the odds, it's the closest fight. And one of the fights I'm actually looking forward to a lot. Actually, yeah, I don't know what happened here. I don't know why I kept going up. But we got these other fights too. So Ronaldo Rodriguez, slight favorite. He missed weight, which might take a toll, but at the same time, with Kevin Borjas, he has not been impressing me. He has been fighting killers, yes, such as Joshua Van. I believe his debut was actually against Joshua Van, so you got to look at that. But Borjas has not been able to impress me a lot. I've been much more impressed by Ronaldo, and I feel like there's going to be a complete difference with how Ronaldo took this fight against Ode Osborne and how he takes this fight against Borjas. I feel like we will see the grappling. Um, I don't believe Borjas actually catches Ronaldo in this fight. Um, I think Ode Osborne's reach and lankiness really had a good advantage over Ronaldo in their fight. It's not the same with Kevin. And Kevin can absolutely catch him. He's got good knees up the middle, which could possibly catch Ronaldo, and I said he couldn't catch him. But anything can happen in this sport. We've seen it numerous times. But I say Ronaldo Rodriguez gets a second round submission over Kevin Borjas. Um, Borjas tends to gas out. I think Ronaldo takes advantage of that, and we'll just have to see what happens. David Martinez versus Simon Oliveira. I have seen Simon Oliveira before. I have not seen David, but a lot of people are very confident in him, and I'm not very confident in Simon Oliveira. Um, I feel like his best play to win is by submission. Um, so actually, let me get to that real quick. Yeah, by submission. I mean, look at that, 1100. He's got good submissions. Keep that in mind. And that's probably the best way if you're going to bet on Simon Oliveira. You want to go by submission. I would say you would want to go by submission. But I'm gonna go with David Martinez, and I say he actually gets this done with some sort of finish. I'm not too sure, but I mean, as you can see with the odds, decision or by knockout are almost favorites. They're almost in the minus section. So you just it's just another fight where you really got to pick your poison. Raul Rosas Jr. versus Vince Morales. I don't believe Raul Rosas Jr. should be this heavy of a favorite. With what we have seen in the past and previously in his last fight, and with Morales, who is very sneaky, we saw in his last fight against Smith. Um, it's going to be a great fight. I feel like it should be closer. It should be around the 100s, but obviously a lot of people are still big on Raul Rosas Jr., but Morales' takedown defense has held up before. And, obviously with the gas tank, I think Morales has a better gas tank than Raul Rosas Jr. It's a great fight, obviously, and the odds really say something here. And you can even look at these odds too. I actually have Raul Rosas Jr. to get a second round TKO on Verdict MMA. And I mean, in Verdict MMA, you're not going to lose money, obviously. So, um, but in the end, I do think he probably gets some kind of second round ground and pound. I feel like that was the problem with Smith. in the Vince Morales fight. He just wasn't really trying to strike too much on the ground. I feel like Raul Rosas Jr. will be the complete opposite, and he's got a very strong base. He's got a good build on him. Um, and we've seen before he can hold on for a long time. So Morales will have to defend for quite a while. And that might be the difference in this fight, man. It's going to be great. I got Raul Rosas Jr. by knockout or TKO in the second round. And of course, as I said about Edgar Chairez and CJ Vergara, um, I feel like a lot of people are just overestimating Edgar. Seriously. I think CJ Vergara by decision is a very good play. Um, if I can find it here, yeah, right here. So uh, there's got to be something wrong with the order of things right here. But I mean, CJ Vergara by decision is still very good with how Edgar Chairez has ended up right now in his career. Plus 400. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm going with CJ Vergara. This fight right here, though, Manuel Torres and Drew Dober. Awesome fight. I think this is another submission, though, and call me crazy, but I'm going with Manuel Torres. He has experience with submissions. He's very long and lanky, so it's going to be easier. Drew Dober has had problems with takedowns from Renato Moicano and other fighters, and I feel like that's probably the difference maker in this fight. Um, Still a good fight nonetheless, and I can't be surprised if Dober actually gets to finish. But I mean, if you check the line right now on DraftKings, let's look at it. This is pretty good. Manuel Torres plus 400 to win by submission. That's still really good, obviously. And they're both very comfy to knock each other out. So you might want to go for an unpredictable play here. Manuel Torres he's got submissions, he's got good takedowns, and he might just show it. So I'm going to go with Torres. And then finally, our main event Brandon Moreno versus Steve Erceg. I feel like in this fight, Steve Erceg shows a lot more tendency. I feel like he's going to be much more active on the feet than his previous fights. And I don't think he mixes up takedowns against Moreno. Moreno is a very good wrestler in his own right. I feel like Steve Erceg's striking is the best way to go for him. He's coming off 2 losses, which I mean, a big mistake on his part for going on a takedown against Pantoja in a round that he was winning. Um, and then getting knocked out in the first round by Kai Kara-France. We don't know how the mentality of that is really going to play a toll on Steve Erceg. It looks like he doesn't mind it, and I mean he's very honest about being surprised that he's gotten another big opportunity. And I mean, if he wins against Brandon Moreno, that puts him right back up in the rankings. Steve Erceg is number 8 right now in the world. He's fighting number 1. And before that, he fought the champion and like the number 3 contender. So it's another great opportunity for Steve Erceg to really show why he's one of the best flyweights in the world. And you can say the same exact thing for Brandon Moreno, who's in a very weird position. He's lost to Pantoja on 3 separate occasions, one on tough, so that might not count, but knowing the UFC, they count it. Um, I think Moreno will mix in both his boxing, his unique shots, and of course the takedowns. And I feel like with Moreno's takedowns, maybe Erceg will be able to stuff the ones early on, but I think Brandon Moreno will eventually get him down in the later rounds. And I right now I actually have Brandon Moreno 4th round submission, and that by submission is plus 800. Um, so just a lot of plus picks and a lot of submissions, especially on the main card. But I think the mentality is really going to play a toll. I think Moreno is much more pumped. This is kind of short notice for Steve Erceg to have an opportunity like this. And though he does have a good height advantage, Moreno does have the reach, and he's just much more unique than Steve Erceg. He's more exotic, and he does a lot of stuff that a lot of people do not expect. Moreno has been he's a very good striker in his own right. He showed it against Kai Kara France, and he showed it good times against Davison Figueiredo. Got Figueiredo tired, went for the takedown, and made history in Tijuana, or well, for Tijuana, really, not in Tijuana. Um, but Moreno versus Erceg is awesome. It's a great fight. I don't mind Erceg getting another good shot because he's very enjoyable to watch and very active on the stats here, as you can see. I have Moreno by submission, but again, you can't be surprised if anybody here wins their fights. Seriously. But it's a great opportunity for Erceg, and I mean, if he wins, he's right back into contention, and who knows who he will fight? Possibly Manuel Cop. It's gonna be awesome, man. It really is. This card is awesome. It's just it's lovely, man. Just awesome names, and I think we're going to see a lot of finishes. But those are my picks and possibly my odds. If I had to pick a free leg parlay, I I would probably go with Vergara by decision. Yeah, let's do Vergara by decision. Ateba by decision. And let me see. I'll even go with Moreno by sub. And I mean, obviously that's probably going to be like plus 1,000 something. Um, you really can't go wrong with it. Actually, you know what? My free leg parlay would actually be Ronaldo. Yeah, let's do Ronaldo by submission. That's much more better. Um, yeah, Ronaldo by this submission, Vergara by decision, and of course Ateba by decision as well. Uh, can't go wrong with that in my opinion. But then again, I'm not the most professional um, money maker in the world. I take a lot of risks, and fuck, I can't even bet yet. So this is just what I think people should really look out for, and it'd be interesting. But it's a great card overall, and I cannot wait for this to start in just a few hours. So if you are viewing this, thank you so much for watching through, and I will see you in the next one. Consider following me also on Twitter right here. Of course, the MMA Mark at the MMA 8ball underscore. And of course, for this video, please subscribe to me. I try to do content all the time. I'm trying to get active with it. And of course, I got my podcast as well, the Mixed Martial Marks podcast, and things are taking off and still ready to go. And I can't wait for the next one, man. So show some love for your boy, and I will see you in the next one. Cannot wait for UFC Mexico, and it's gonna be awesome.